single line in the morning's transfer rumour mill has the potential to rewrite boardroom spreadsheets and fan expectations alike. Tottenham Hotspur are reportedly preparing a large bid for Takefusa Kubo, and if the numbers being whispered are true, this move would do something quite unusual. It would hand Real Madrid roughly €35 million, without the club having to sell any of its current stars. The magic here is contractual, not miraculous. Back in 2022, Real Madrid agreed terms that left them with 50% of Kubo's economic rights after he moved to Real Sociedad. A pragmatic decision made when the player needed regular minutes more than headlines. At the time, the fee for that half was modest, a relatively small payment for a teenager with potential. Today, with Kubo turning promise into consistent performance on the Anoeta pitch, that modest early exchange looks like the seed money on a much larger harvest. If Tottenham meets a reported valuation near €70 million, Madrid's share of the sale becomes headline cash. A tidy profit created by patience and clever deal design rather than by unloading a star from the current squad. This story is compelling because it blends three things fans love: a rising young talent, a high-stakes Premier League chase, and the satisfying spectacle of a shrewd boardroom move paying off. Kubo's gain explains the sporting part of the equation. He brings a low centre of gravity, quick feet, smart combinations, and an eye for the decisive pass. Attributes that translate well to the Premier League's physical tempo, if the player and coach can find a rhythm. Tottenham, who have for years chased creative impetus on the flanks, would see in Kubo an injection of unpredictability and flair capable of changing individual matches. For Real Sociedad, a sale at that level funds recruitment and rewards a club that has consistently produced talent. For Madrid, it's a remote benefit with immediate impact. Cash in the accounts and no disruption to the dressing room. There is also a human story here that should not be reduced to arithmetic. Kubo himself stands at a crossroads. Stay in Spain and continue to develop in a familiar culture where he is thriving, or take a leap into a different league, intense media scrutiny and the pressure that comes with a large transfer fee and new expectations. That internal debate matters because the market only moves when players and clubs align. Tottenham must weigh the cost against the sporting gain. Real Sociedad must judge whether the valuation compensates for lost talent, and Madrid will watch with the satisfaction of a shareholder seeing a late-stage return on an early bet. The quiet €6 million payment from 3 years ago that bought half of the rights looks small against today's sums. And that contrast tells a larger story about modern football. Early developmental moves and flexible ownership models can turn into significant revenue streams if clubs are patient and strategic. Zooming out, the Kubo scenario underscores how transfers have matured into sophisticated financial engineering. Sell-on clauses and percentage ownerships are no longer obscure legalese. They are standard levers clubs deploy to share risk and reward. Elite teams use these instruments to benefit from a global scouting network that identifies talent early, while smaller clubs use them to secure capital that underwrites sustainable growth. That shifting landscape changes negotiation tactics. Bids become not just about securing a player's services, but about how value is sliced, shared, and reinvested across the football ecosystem. For fans, this can feel clinical, yet the outcome is also tangible. Better financed clubs, more competitive recruitment, and occasionally jaw-dropping headlines. So now the ball is, commercially speaking, in Tottenham's court. If they press and meet the valuation, Madrid will be able to announce a notable receipt in their finances without the sporting cost of losing a current starter. If Spurs hesitate, other suitors might emerge and the market dynamic could force valuations higher or lower. Either way, this is a neat demonstration of a bigger truth. Small, strategic contractual choices can ripple forward and shape major outcomes. The coming days will reveal whether Kubo moves to the Premier League, whether the transfer window supplies another twist, and how clubs will continue to marry scouting, coaching, and clever contracts into both sporting and financial success. For now, the whisper has been heard, the arithmetic has been laid bare, and football watchers should keep an eye on the next chapter of a story where talent, timing, and monetary savvy all collide.